Here's a few ways to help you identify the difference between adolescence and manhood. Now, just a quick note before we get into the video, my use of the word adolescence is not just in reference to teenagers. In fact, it's a state of mind that any man of any age group could be stuck in. Someone with an adolescent mindset would tend to do the three following things when making decisions. This type of guy tends to make his decisions based on how he feels in the moment emotionally. A common example of this would be he goes around the house smashing up all the personal belongings in a moment of anger, not realizing that he's gonna have to pay for everything to be replaced anyway, when he could have just taken the time out, walked out of the house, taken some fresh air and pulled himself together. A guy in his adolescent stage of life tends to make self-centered decisions based on what he wants, without much consideration for how those decisions affect others around him. A prime example of this is being unfaithful in relationships. Driven by your personal desire to get what you want, you don't put the hard work in to keep a long-lasting relationship alive. An attribute of an adolescent is the need to show off. This type of guy puts a very high value on perception over substance. Why? Well, because it's much easier to look the part than it is to be the real deal. This type of guy is often easily enticed into renting a luxury apartment that often costs way more than some people's mortgages, just to give off the perception of the high life, rather than starting at the bottom of the property ladder so that they can own something of their own. So the difference between adolescence and manhood, well, I guess when you step into manhood, you realize that you're consistently wearing many different hats at one given time. Like for me, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a leader. I wear many different hats and I'm committed to all of these responsibilities at one given time. And when a man's posed with a decision that needs to be made, he goes through perhaps at least a minimum of 5 steps before making that decision. The first one would be, who is he? Who are you? Is the decision that you're making going to represent who you are? Does it represent who people think you are and what you want them to think you are? And if it doesn't represent that, then you might need to check why it doesn't. What do you represent? Is the decision that you're about to make going to represent and reflect what you would normally represent, what you stand for? And if it doesn't represent and reflect what you already stand for and what you already represent, then it might mean that you need to take stock on that decision and how to kind of make that decision accordingly. The third thing you need to think about is, does this affect me? Does this have any repercussions on me or the people that are under my care? So if, for example, your decision is going to affect the people that you care for in a negative way, for example, it could be a case of they may get hurt by you making this decision, they may be even embarrassed by you making this decision, then you might want to think about how you can avoid that situation. Fourthly, you want to think about what are the benefits. Is this going to benefit you in any way by making this decision? If not, why are you making it? Does it benefit somebody else by you making this decision? If so, then it might be worthwhile making that decision. Fifth, you want to be thinking about, okay, so I'm going to make this decision, but do I need to make it right now? Do I want this or do I need this? If it's something that is just a want, then you might not need to make this decision right now and it has no urgency. But if it's something that you need, then it's up on your priority level and the decision needs to be made now. So those are some of the things that you need to be thinking about before you take stock of on making your final decision, remembering all of the hats that you wear as a man. So when it comes to making decisions, manhood is about working towards a desired outcome as opposed to losing everything for a moment of desire.
You have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be respectful.
He was consistently without a doubt, trying to drill into us that we must have a routine.